Scenario 1. The SAP production system has been recently copied to QA. We're logged into the SAP QA system after that copy, and we're navigating to transaction OAC0 to review the initial settings for the T2 archive, which is connected to our repositories. Right now, after the system copy without any changes, SAP is still pointing to the production SAP content server, and any documents that are being pulled up will still be pulled up from the production content server, even though this is the QA copy. So display will be done from a transaction called PA10. So I'm navigating to PA10. We're looking at the personnel file in the CITES client of Mrs. Müller, and we're displaying the original documents through the display specific facsimile function with standard ArchiveLink connectivity. There's two documents currently connected to this personnel record, and both documents are displayed correctly. In scenario 2, we're changing the OAC0 configuration to correctly point to the QA system. Everything else stays the same. Port number and script stays the same. We're saving the entry and we're doing a check. Connectivity is established. Now if we go back to our personnel transaction and attempt to display the documents now, we see the following results. We get a document does not exist error in both cases, which is absolutely correct because in the QA system, of course, these production documents do not exist. Now, to demonstrate that we can actually add additional documents, we're using the transaction OAAD and do a store and assign to this particular document type, business object PREL, document type Z HRPDF. We're starting the attached document cycle. This is the correct info type. We're entering yes, and we're picking a placeholder document, which is the resume. We're waiting for a moment here for the system to actually archive the document. Document has been created and stored successfully. So now if we go back into our personnel file, display transaction and display specific facsimiles, we'll now have 3 documents connected. The 2 documents that do not exist, which are the links to the production documents, and then this new QA document which is correctly archived. Now let's clean up this a little bit before our next test. Now we want to show in our third scenario that with the introduction of the SolutionXchg Archive Content Connector, or ACC, we can actually display both the QA documents as well as the production documents. To do so, we're changing the configuration to point to the ACC, which will then handle the communication with the 2 subsequent archives. We need to change the script. Save the settings. Test. And we can go back to our display transaction and now look at the documents one more time. Display specific facsimiles, grant access. And now going to the ACC, we correctly see all three documents. So we see our QA document, which we just archived in addition to the other two production documents, and we're seeing those two production documents. So perfect scenario, through the use of the ACC, we can actually display both documents, the documents from the production content server as well as the ones from the test content server. And the next scenario, we are adding a document to this scenario to show that with the ACC you can actually add documents just as well. And we do add the documents again through our OAAD transaction, store and assign, PRL, business object, ZHR PDF. We go ahead. This is the correct personnel number. We'll have to select the document. We select this time not the resume but the offer letter. And we'll wait a little bit for the document to be archived. Document is stored successfully. And we can go back into a display transaction and now display the documents. And we're now having 4 documents associated. We're seeing this one, which is one of our production documents. We have this one with second production documents. Then we have first QA document and we have the second QA document. So all the documents are actually stored and accessible correctly. Now the benefit of the ACC really is that the production documents are accessed in a read-only mode, and the ACC makes sure that the documents that are archived into QA are securely archived and written just to the QA server. We can take a look at that configuration. Here is the configuration that actually displays the various service activities and attempts in the ACC. It's the configuration file, ACC connector.properties. We're editing this file and we're navigating down to the selection area to show you one more feature. Now here you can see the configuration for the production settings. Here you see the secondary configuration for the QA settings, and we're modifying the service mode for our next demonstration. The service mode can have 2 different values. It can be empty or not set, and it would correctly read from the production service. You can see here that the read function is activated, just the read function is activated for the production server, whereas for the QA server we have read, write, and delete. That's an additional security mechanism. Now with me taking the comment off this line, the service mode is changed to substitute document, and specifically for HR documents that is a possible security feature that allows you to mask sensitive data and bring up a substitute document instead of the original document. We are saving these changes to the file, exiting out, we need to do a reset of the ACC configuration to force the ACC to reread its configuration file, which we just changed. And going back to our personnel transaction, we can now display facsimiles one more time. We're getting 4 documents loaded. And we can see that we have document 1, which was one of our production documents, securely masked with a placeholder document. Document 2 securely masked with a placeholder document, but our QA documents 1 and 2 are still correctly accessible. Thank you very much. That concludes the demo. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and please contact us at SolutionXchg.com for more information.